Greetings friends. Today we get acquainted with the work of the Spanish artist German Aracil. He is known for his pastel paintings and is one of the finest artists of our time. His portraits, human figures, naked bodies, flowers, and still lives filled with light, warmth, and love are painted on board, paper, and cardboard. Many critics consider him the successor to the great masters of painting who use pastels in their work, including the likes of Monet, Renoir, Degas and Michelangelo. Who has not subscribed to the channel yet, subscribe. Come on, we have a lot of interesting things ahead of us. German Aracil is a contemporary Spanish artist born in 1965 in Alcoy. Since 1985, he has studied at the Fine Arts School of San Carlos in Valencia, Spain. Now he lives in the Spanish city of Alcoy with his family in a large house with a swimming pool. In his work, he uses a lot of interesting and antique things such as books, musical instruments including a bandura, a mandolin, a large number of umbrellas for models, as well as a piano played by the artist's wife. In his house, the artist often meets guests with whom they like to cook meat and paella. The artist's studio is quite large and occupies a separate house. The spacious studio allows the artist to look at his work from a distance, revealing errors for further elimination. The studio has a huge number of colored pencils and pastels of various productions, mainly Chinese and French. The artist prefers to paint his paintings from photographs. He takes several shots of the model, chooses the best one, and then paints. As German Aracil says, it is more convenient to work from a photograph, although the artist also paints pictures from models. Since childhood, he was fond of drawing cartoons. He was attracted to comics. When his friends played outside, he could sit for hours and draw. The artist has always worked in the style of realism and figurative art. This style is on the rise today. Initially, German Aracil started working with watercolors and only then revealed all the charms of pastel, and has been working with it for more than 30 years. In his interviews, he says that when he was a child, he lived opposite an art gallery, saw a lot of paintings, and met a lot of artists. It was his privilege. He communicated with the artists, saw the process of their creativity and how they lived, and this fascinated him. He knew all his life who he wanted to be. In the beginning, he made many drawings, pen and watercolors in different parts of the city and environs. In 1985, he moved to Valencia to study at the Faculty of Fine Arts of San Carlos. And it was there, under the influence of the artist Jose Sales Albella, that he decided to devote his life to painting. Since then, he has exhibited in various art galleries around the country. Educated at the Faculty of Fine Arts in Valencia, he is considered one of the best artists of our time in pastels on board, paper, and cardboard. His human figures, nudes, flowers, still lives, and portraits have led some critics to consider him a torchbearer for painting historians who use pastels in their careers, such as Michelangelo, Monet, Renoir, or Degas with their ballerinas. He recently received an offer from former Barcelona player Risto Stoichkov to exhibit at a major gallery in Bulgaria. Moreover, as a great portrait painter, he painted a portrait of the President of the Dominican Republic, Leonel Fernandez. Don't forget to like and comment. This will greatly help in the development of the channel. And we continue, the most interesting awaits us. In July 2011, the French magazine Pratique d'Arts interviewed the artist in his studio in Muro de Alcoy. This magazine is widely distributed in France and publishes reports and interviews with painters, sculptors, cartoonists, and people related to art. I have been honored to appear on the cover of this magazine, which has been published for the 100th time. The truth is that it was a great satisfaction for me, recalls German Aracil. The magazine was released in September 2011. In his paintings, the artist mainly depicts his family, relatives, friends, and acquaintances who have the appearance and physiological structure that suits the author at one time or another. In German Aracil's paintings, sharply drawn lines, artfully delineated forms, and the relationship between the intensity of light and the meaning of shadows cast by a single common form between harmonious chromatic chords were resolved with seeming simplicity. German Aracil explores the most hidden corners of the soul, so that in the expression of faces or bodies we contemplate captive figures that enhance the sense of reality, express tenderness, suffering, sadness or detachment, acceptance of the passage of time, the silence of the eyes, or perhaps the beauty of lonely roses. In his paintings, German Aracil plunges the viewer into the stupor of a human being and reveals the magic of the unknown through academic painting. And the good hand of the master is visible in the fluency drawn, the perspective, the purity of the colors, and the saturation of the midtones. The first personal exhibition of German Aracil was held in his hometown of Alcoy. He held it at Sala Lorenz de Alcoy. Popularity came to the artist in 1990 immediately after his exhibition in New York, where he presented his work at the Liz Liberatore Gallery. When he returned to Spain after the exhibition, many art galleries began to invite him. 2 years later, he participates in Art Miami International Art Fair. His works are in private collections and institutions in countries such as the USA, Brazil, Argentina, France, Switzerland, Germany, Japan, and others. Recently, German has been often invited to China to conduct master classes. Pastel drawing is very popular there now. It is even taught in schools. The Chinese learn very quickly, constantly improving by adopting the experience of the world's best pastel artists. Currently, German Aracil is actively engaged in creative work. He holds many exhibitions and presentations of his work. He believes that without an active life position, personal acquaintances with customers and connoisseurs of his work, it is impossible to give wide distribution to his works. It is impossible to sell your works being only in an art studio. Among the artist's acquaintances are many well-known personalities: presidents, football players, opera singers, restaurateurs, politicians, producers, singers, and Spanish matadors. German likes not only to draw, but also to sell his paintings, which is very rare among artists. Was the Touch Art channel and the work of the Spanish artist German Aracil. If you liked the video, don't forget to subscribe and like. Write comments and suggestions in the comments. This will help improve the content and make the video more interesting for you. Thank you.